Welcome to Unethical Podcast.
At just 12, these two girls nearly took another classmate's life.
A fellow passenger on a Greyhound bus facing walking the streets of Winnipeg. Unsupervised, and the decision is causing concern. Innocently schizophrenic gets found not criminally responsible.
In October 2007, Chris was introduced to the internet trolls when a photograph of him was uploaded to 4chan by an individual who had taken a photo of him playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In a local gaming place, complete with rugby shirt and Sonichu medallion.
Good time to meet the trolls.
Have you guys ever been to a local Yu-Gi-Oh tournament?
Yes,
Oh.
How was that?
I played in it, so it was fun.
Oh, okay. I did too. I was like 12. And then immediately met like a 32-year-old disabled man who was very strange. And I say this not because it was like Chris Chan or something, but just because there are like carbon copies of this man smattered everywhere.
100%.
And he just happened to get so fucking famous.
Yep.
Did you have one of those in your place, Celeste?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, if not, you're the one. But anyways, it's the...
If you didn't, it's you.
She was standing outside with a big poster board, said boyfriend free boy.
Boyfriend free boy.
Boyfriend free pal.
If you're black or married, jump off a if you're not black and you're not married, jump off a bridge.
Whoa. I was like, only black and married. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, so yeah, this photo on 4chan led to a viral local fascination with Chris, where people who had interacted with him in their daily life shared their stories about him. And in this thread, people began sharing their fan art and erotic fan art of Chris and his Sonichu characters. Eventually, one of the users was dared to send Chris a screenshot of the thread, and that's how Chris found out about it. Chris responded in what you will learn is very Chris fashion, spewing disgust about the depictions of Chris being gay for Sonichu, and he instead demanded that they make fan art of Rosechu, Sonichu's girlfriend, stripping, masturbating, and squirting. And in all caps, he exclaimed he is straight and that he will not be veered in any other disgustingly grotesque direction. So he went full. So this is his introduction to the trolls. This is his first time actually interacting with this form of trolls. And he goes full tilt, creepy pervo, homophobe. Like, good show. That's really not going to pique their interest in you whatsoever.
You're like, here, trolls, here's some troll nip. You know what I mean? That's troll nip. That's what you're asking. When you say stuff like that, that's what the trolls want. They want you to fucking go, oh yeah, let's do that. I wonder what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so largely due to his reactions to them, the fascination ended up spreading to other websites. And it was the spark that lit the flame of the siege of cyberbullying and reactions that were to come. One user ended up making a troll page for Chris Chan. It was Chris-Chan, that's where the name comes from, on Encyclopedia Dramatica, which Chris would spend years trying and failing to destroy.
Yeah, that's a great site.
I love RJ's little giggle. He's just like,
By the way, if anybody wants to make me squirting as some fan art, I'd be cool with it.
yeah, whatever.
I didn't know you could ask for fan art. I thought just people made fan art. I didn't think you could ask for requests.
I'm gonna draw you sucking off Chris Chan. How about that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm countering with.
Yes.
Cool.
I mean,
Sounds good.
Not only will he do that, but he'll also put you up 2 points on his respect scale.
Right. And I just might stop giving you the silent treatment.
No guarantees.
I've gone 6 years before, so don't even fucking test me. Silent treatment. He didn't talk for 6 years.
Oh, you were talking.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, like Chris. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
gotcha.
Yep. On board. All right. So trolls clung to the email address that Chris foolishly provided them with, bombarding
Oh my
Chris
God.
with more gay and trans fan art. And it led to several keyboard battles where Chris would try to stop other artists from using Sonichu. And one of the people that Chris met in college, who was in the thread, decided to take this trolling into real life and told him that he had set up a date with a woman and gave her his contact information. And Chris ended up having his first fake flirtation with this woman over AOL Messenger. And lo and behold, oh, it's just this guy pretending to be her. Classic catfish, boring catfish. We've covered that on this show.
Yes.
Oh God, you gave with so much troll nip.
So much. And this is his starter catfish. All right. He's testing the waters. So with each reaction they got out of Chris, the more fan art would come out specifically designed to outrage him. And the more of his outrage that would be posted on the internet for people to mock.
Oh God, you could see that coming a mile away. Anybody with any type of fucking like, just shut up at a certain point because you know it's gonna get worse every time. You're an idiot. I saw it coming. I don't even know this. I was like, that's exactly what's gonna happen.
It reminds me of that guy called Kyle. Do you remember? The video was called The Biggest Freak Out Ever. Tries to sodomize himself with the remote control. And then after that video was released, his brother just kept putting more and more videos of him doing crazy shit. Like he throws the Christmas tree out onto the lawn and sets it on fire with all the presents. And his brother just keeps posting all these videos and he just got absolute, like, and his parents bought him a truck and he beat the shit out of it with a baseball bat because it wasn't the truck that he wanted.
Yeah, I remember.
Fucking crazy. That's what it reminds me of. And this guy just went absolutely viral and people just owned his ass.
You gotta love that because it's like an infinite feedback loop. And Chris Chan's so bad because like he's got like nobody in his life that actually cares about him to like step in and be like, well, like, let's just talk about it, buddy. It's just him and the fucking internet. Like just going at it.
Yeah, no one's like, maybe you should stop.
Oh, they come and they try and he doesn't.
Oh God.
All right. So Chris fought back by editing his own Encyclopedia Dramatica page, rewording the unflattering entries and flooding it with additional details. He called this, quote, information overload, which he believed would gain him sympathy. And obviously this didn't work.
Oh.
He also tried to reinforce his heterosexuality by sharing his own fan art depicting heterosexual sex between his characters. You still had to draw the dick, Chris. That's pretty gay.
No, but they were having straight sex.
It's still gay if you draw the dick, though.
No, they were having straight sex.
No, it's gay.
I'm sorry. Is it gay if I have straight sex with my penis? Like, come on. He drew a dick.
Yes, it is.
It's you just look away from the dick the whole time. That's straight.
Just block it out.
Yeah,
There.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just close your eyes and then like, I mean, like, yeah, like it's not going to be the right shape or size or color and like the veins will be outside of the lines of the actual penis.
Yeah, but RJ,
hey,
it's going to be straight.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's the most important thing, is it not?
As long as it's clear that we can do that in a straight way.
Yes.
I am allowing us to move on now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thanks.
He also shared a drawing of himself fingering a woman, which he titled "She Comes for Quick."
Nice.
Not nice. But the trolls noticed that this woman looked the same as his fictional sister character from his Sonichu comic books. So he's got like a bunch of these editions of the comic books out now. And in it, he wrote in, he's in the comic, he's part of the cast or whatever, and he wrote in a sister character named Crystal. And the woman that he drew in this image looked a lot like her. Chris had also mentioned several times in his videos and artworks that he one day wanted a daughter named Crystal. And trolls ran with it, creating a narrative wherein Chris wanted to fuck his mom to make her pregnant with his daughter Crystal and then fuck his daughter's sister Crystal.
Yep.
However, the girl in the photo or the drawing was actually modeled after Megan, the rebuffing his advances for years, Megan. When she discovered this, she confronted him and she asked him to leave her alone until she decides she's ready to contact him again, if she's ever ready to contact him again. Which again, this makes me think like you're in this for the shit that he buys you, because I think any normal person would be like, that's enough now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he immediately responded by explaining sex to her, assuming that she was upset because the image was sexual in nature and therefore frightening to her and not a disgusting violation.
It's exactly.
Well,
what it was.
women don't know about it until you tell them.
It's true.
True.
Yeah, they all learn about it from a strapping man who has to stalk them
Yes.
for years prior to informing them.
So I found out.
Yes. You were like, oh, thank you. I'm not a girl. And they were like, oh, shit. Well, now you know.
All right. Chris removed any mention of Megan from his online presence, with the exception of the drawing, where he just enlarged the vagina getting fingered and just cropped the rest out.
That makes it all better.
Yeah. And amazingly, Megan still didn't cut him off at this point.
Just holding out for that PSP.
She's
Yeah.
holding out. He also decided this would be a great time to release another poem into the world. And thank God, because we deserve it.
I know. I want to know.
I'm ready.
For my true love, I'd treat her tenderly, sweetly, gently, like a summer breeze. I'd caress her skin gently with my strong fingers. I'd take her to eat and provide for her to my ability. I'd start small at McDonald's, then let it get better in due time. When the mood is right, I'd whisk her in my arms and lift her up in sweet gentleness. I would share with her the best kiss of my life, and hopefully hers, since it would be the first of my life. I would do for her as much as I am able to in getting her the things she desires. Every day, I would try to make her smile with a jest, a spark, or a tender massage. If she is willing to allow the pleasure, I'd lay her down, caress her gently, tickle her fancy, have her tickle my fancy, and give it to her with the learned, lonely experience I've endured. But I digress on that. Most importantly, I would hang on to her every word of her life tales, her feelings, her troubled times, and I'd share my condolences accordingly. And I can hope she would be willing to do the same for me. I am nothing without this woman, so I hope and pray that she will stay to love me for me as I would stay with her for her. I love you would be shared daily with a French side dish. I am her soldier to do for her as she sees fit.
Is the French side dish French fries?
Supersized.
Yeah.
Tickle her fancy, and then she can tickle my fancy. Oh
Yeah.
God, this guy's weird.
Tickling fancies into the wee morning hours.
It's so weird how much like biological imperative takes over for everyone. You know what I mean? Like the whole like wanting fucking. It's like so. Wow, this guy. Do you think that was gonna work? That's what I mean. Like this guy crazy. This guy nuts.
Okay, after this, Chris sent Megan another email saying that she is nowhere near upset about this as he is. And because his art is his way to relieve his pent-up frustration with trolls and unrequited love. And they were using it against him to make him sound like some incest fantasizing freak. Chris changed the entry on Encyclopedia Dramatica from drawing pictures of himself having sex with his imaginary sister to having sex with his lost sailor soldier, Megan, who dumped his sorry ass for drawing the pic of him fucking her. So he outed her as the woman after she asked him to remove any mention of her online and the photo, and she completely cut off all contact with him in March 2008.
About bloody time.
You know when she said for me not to do that, I'm gonna do exactly that. You know what I mean?
Stop touching me. Touch you? Okay, I shall.
Yeah.
Take me off your website. Put you on my website? I will do that.
and that shit's got to be like, you know, like the lack of emotional and cognitive stuff going on, but like that shit, like, oh, like start small with McDonald's and work my way up. You can tell this man like had nobody in his life actually like talking to him. Like everything he knows is through like media references and like just consuming media. And that is like, textbook neglect. Like the television and internet raised this person on top of everything else. Fascinating.
It is fascinating. It's a cable guy, like a modern day cable guy.
Yes. Yes. Somehow far scarier.
Okay, so this whole online debacle in the Encyclopedia Dramatica ended up being discovered by the church he attended, who banished him from attending. Shortly after this, he was also banned from his favorite gaming place for making racist comments against Black patrons. Ricardo.
That's a pro gamer move though, so don't hold that all the way against him.
So is having sex with your mom, RJ.
Hey, whoa, I'm not.
No. He misunderstood the instructions and had sex with his own mom. He was like, oops.
Exactly. Yeah. They're like, I fucked your mom. Not if I do first. Just a very heated Fortnite lobby, and things got out of hand.
All right. 2008 was also the year that Chris got Facebook. And he used it like so many dudes still do to this day. He spent his time slipping into women's private messages and being awkward. Some of these exchanges were with girls who were quite young. And when Chris found out they were under 18, he continued to pursue them, promising them that he wouldn't take anything further than friendship until they were 18, which I have a problem with.
I won't be
That's called
creepy till you're of
grooming,
age.
asshole.
Oh, okay.
This was about the point where I like really was like, okay, he's not just awkward and pitiful. He's actually a shitty person.
Yeah, it's not mutually exclusive. Like,
Yeah. Okay. Chris began spiraling online after this. He posted videos where he ranted and raved against trolls online, blamed them for ruining his relationship with Megan, for making people think he's gay, when they are in fact the homos, and for calling him a pedophile and dragging his good name. He also threatened that he is withholding the release of the next edition of his Sonichu comic book on his website until the Encyclopedia Dramatica page is taken down.
No.
yeah. It was a dark time. Everybody really hanging on the edge of their seats for that issue.
I need it.
The page got so popular that it became featured on the website's homepage. And Chris went to Fox News and encouraged them to do a story on these awful trolls and to shame them.
Yeah, right.
Which they didn't. 2 days after this, Chris went to check his Encyclopedia Dramatica page and found that he couldn't access it. And this led him to believe that he'd won against those evil bastards, and he posted a video celebrating his victory. However, the site was down because it had gotten so popular it was crashing the server.
Oh my god.
Chris developed some online, quote, friends during this time. An internet anti-troll that supports victims of cyberbullies. He was actually just making fun of him. He's not standing in solidarity. Troll. And a female cartoonist who asked him to feature her original character, Jigglyami, in his comic series. And Jigglyami is a rock star character modeled after the Pokemon Jigglypuff.
Right up his alley.
Which he did.
Yeah, right up his alley. Of course he's going to say yes to that. A Pokemon? A half Pokemon, half... Does it do any type of energy weapons out of their hands? No? All right, I'll put her in anyway.
Another artist that had made a similar character to Sonichu reached out to Chris to let him know that she didn't steal the idea. And they had a very rough start where he told her to stop drawing it, and she told him to kill himself.
Oh.
She ended up actually like developing more of a relationship with him. And throughout the next few years, she tried over and over and over to convince him to stop reacting, to stop falling in love with every troll pretending to be a woman, and to stop focusing on finding someone to have sex with and worry about making friends and being an advocate for autistic people with his notoriety.
Finally, someone with a tiny little bit of common sense.
Yeah, Chris never listened to her. She was pretty smart, and he should have.
Someone should have just showed him like sex workers.
Oh, that comes up.
Okay.
Nah.
That comes up. Okay.
That comes up.
This story
Richard.
has everything.
All right.
Yes.
It's a hodgepodge potpourri of all things crazy. All right.
He's
let's
too
do this.
busy buying toys to afford prostitutes right now, Richard.
Correct. But I mean, what better way to woo a prostitute than with Sailor Venus and a dildo?
If by woo you mean get stabbed by when you don't have any cash, then yeah.
I just want to be
Oh, okay.
clear. Chris, even the prostitutes rejected Chris
All right.
Oh.
for a time. So he
All right.
didn't like, he tried. Anyway. The trolls convinced Chris that a company called JK Productions, which should have been obvious, JK Productions, had begun development on a Sonic U video game, and that he hoped Sega and Nintendo would distribute the game. He posted several videos about this exciting news, unbeknownst to him that it was all an elaborate troll, because of course it was. And a few months into the troll, JK Productions reached out to him and advised him that they had received cease and desist letters from Nintendo and Sega. And as a result, they were forced to redesign the main characters. And they sent him the redesigns. Sonichu was now an ant-eel, a cross between an anteater and an eel, wearing a dapper suit with a pickle in his label. And this was a subtle dig to Chris referring to penises as pickles in his pleads to stop drawing Rose Chew with a dick. They also redesigned Rose Chew into a gay ant-eel in a like Mr. Slave outfit.
Amazing.
And Chris was redesigned as a busty lady, and Chris decided to sever his relationship with JK Productions at this time.
Wise.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Another gang of trolls created a full fake UK campaign wherein they made fake articles and advertisements for Sonic U merchandise, created and distributed by Jerry Hill, a soccer commentator. And the article said things like, "This is going to be the next Pokemon." And like, it was indicating that this guy was going to get rich on Sonic U. And this caused Chris quite a bit of stress, honestly. But the troll was revealed when they released teasers featuring a gay Sonichu and a chubby robot character modeled after Chris's naked body. Now, how did the world know what Chris's naked body looked
That's
like?
what I was gonna ask. That was my question.
Oh God.
Great question, Richard. Let's back up for a second to one of the friends that Chris made.
Oh gosh.
The cartoonist.
Yeah.
Her name was Blanca Weiss, and Chris developed quite a fondness for her. Now, Blanca Weiss was actually a catfish created by 3 trolls, and the reason that they created Blanca was because the mission of the trolls was to acquire Chris's Sonichu medallion. They wanted it. Also, Blanca Weiss is like a hilarious joke, in my opinion, because in Spanish, Blanca is white, and in German, Weiss is woman, and white woman, Chris's ideal type. That's funny to me.
Oh, God.
Amazing.
And I just know that them trying to steal that medallion is that, like, they know that's going to set them off and it's going to be hilarious. So let's get the fucking medallion.
Yeah, they are on mission.
Wow.
Important to note, trolling Chris was really easy because it's likely that he suffers from prosopagnosia, or facial blindness, where people can easily mistake faces for other people's faces, and it is somewhat common in people with autism. So the trolls didn't even have to send photos that were similar to make Chris believe that he was getting more photos of Blanca. They didn't look anything alike. The photos that they sent him, like nothing alike. Or any of the other dozens of fake women trolls created to fuck with him. So briefly, Blanca was intercepted by a 4th troll who wasn't part of this gang of trolls. And this person just made an email that was similar to the email that Blanca used, not even the same one. And they used it to request nudes from Chris, who obliged, revealing to the world his extremely weird, crooked dinky, which can still be enjoyed online today.
I want a full-blown description. What do you got? How big? What do we got? Talking roll of quarters to the left?
Chris, you okay?
Oh, she's doing. She's showing me.
No, please, no.
I'll describe it.
No, my eyes, my
I'll
eyes.
describe
my eyes.
We need a vagina palate cleanser in my face. Actually, I just gotta make a picture it in my face. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I doubt like a Google image search is gonna pull up Chris Chan's.
Oh! Oh no!
Damn,
Oh my god, is that him with his shirt pulled up?
Yes.
Remember how we were talking about that? We were talking about that last week. We're talking about that. Oh no.
That is a weird looking dick, though. It looks like it has an elbow.
Yeah, right? Like, how did you do that?
I know how. Playing with it a lot.
You think?
A lot. No, I don't know. Maybe you broke it. You can break your dick, so maybe like snapped it in half one day. I don't know.
Maybe. Okay, so Chris also began another online flirtation with another troll woman on Facebook at this time. And Chris decided to use this woman's interest in him as leverage with Blanca. Hilariously, the three trolls, being Blanca, started exchanging emails with the troll pretending to be this woman named Sarah and fighting over Chris, which is like so funny to me. Chris ended up choosing Blanca in the end, but only until he met another troll, this one posing as an Australian woman, causing him to temporarily end his relationship with Blanca. So he dumped her and then shortly after posted a video proclaiming his love for this new troll whose screen name was Halo Panda, where he sang "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Never gonna let you down.
Now, this is where things get a little bit graphic. So these trolls got Chris to have very graphic conversations with them over Skype, which they recorded and released. In one of their conversations, he described how he jerked off and that he used a plastic cup to catch his jizz so it didn't make a mess. And he also mentioned that he had talked with his mom about it before.
Oh.
Then he described for Halo Panda how women masturbate in case she wanted to try it. She was able to get him to agree to be pegged and to have sex with a dog for her when they finally meet up to have sex.
Oh my god.
He'll just say anything.
Yeah, lots of dumb shit.
Sure, I got dogs.
That's how Patty died.
Yeah.
God, I hope not. There was some drama. She ended up claiming, this fake troll ended up, I talk about all the trolls in the terms of like she, even though it's usually dudes, but just stick with me on that. It's too complicated to do it otherwise.
It's like boys. It's like children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just...
Yeah, it is. Actually, a lot of them are kids. Yeah.
Yeah. And that, like, I'm sorry. The funniest part about that to me is like just the idea of like being like 14 and being like ultra edgelord and finding it so hilarious to get into like a serious like phone sex relationship with this adult man.
It's true.
and just giggling with your boys and not sensing any of like the super irony.
Okay, yeah. So this troll claimed that one of his most dedicated trolls, so this was like the leader of the troll gang, he was known as Clyde Cash online.
It's a funny name.
So she claimed that Clyde Cash had raped her and that she was pregnant and no longer a virgin. And Chris said that he would care for the baby like it was his own. He actually maintained this relationship with this troll longer than any of the other trolls, but he frequently professed his love for other women that paid attention to him.
Okay.
After they split, this went on over several months. It's not that interesting, but he reunited with Blanca after this, claiming that he had a dream where the name of his true sweetheart was revealed to him, and it was Blanca. That's another thing that I forgot to mention. He doesn't call girlfriends girlfriends. He calls them his sweethearts. That's his term. The trolls eventually got Chris to trust her so much and become so infatuated with her, Blanca, again, that he mailed her his most precious possession, the Sonichu medallion.
Oh, they did it. They got it.
They got it.
Got him, you fucks.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to see the victory lap video on that. They must have just fucking broke him.
I'll tell you about it.
Okay.
He sent it along with a love letter. Upon receipt, one of the trolls recorded a video of them reading the love letter. That's not that important. It's not that interesting. Anyway. Okay, so in the video that the trolls sent or recorded, they mimed the medallion blowing a pickle. They cut it up. They bashed it with a hammer. They put the remains in a pickle jar, set the remains on fire in the jar, and then pissed on the fire to put it out.
Wow. Fucking, there must have been some heated debates over the fucking past couple little while. Like that's not even just a troll anymore. That's hate. You know, that's pure hate. Fuck this guy.
Well, it's internet bullying. You get that extra layer of humanity removed, and then people just go fucking ape shit animalistic.
Despite all of this, Chris continued to believe that Blanca was real and her mail had just been intercepted by the trolls.
That happens.
I put too much troll nip in there. It's got to be taken by a troll. There's no way I couldn't have been.
These devious trolls.
He also clapped back against the trolls by revealing in his Sonichu comic book that his powers don't come from the medallion at all. No, they in fact come from his Amethyst High School ring. And I still have that, fuckers.
Ah, of course.
Stupid. How could you not know that?
Yeah. Idiots.
All right, so these same trolls that were posing as Blanca came back in a new form, this time as one of his high school gal pals. And she claimed that she lost her copy of the Yep, I'm on TV DVD and asked for another copy. And Chris, of course, sent her one, which she immediately leaked. And the trolls began making fun of Chris Chan's parents as well.
Oh, that's that. They didn't do anything except for be fucked up parents.
Well, that, and it also revealed the hoarding conditions in the house. So that's a new fun thing that the trolls know now. Another set of trolls was able to correctly guess Chris's password. It was probably Sonichu. And because his password was the same for everything, again, probably Sonichu, they gained access to his entire personal online presence, which they immediately leaked.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fucking hell.
So at this point, everything that wasn't a physical copy that he had ever written, created, or recorded was out there for the world to study, making him the most well-documented freak fascination in the history of the internet.
Wow.
These guys are the Edward Snowden of trolls. You know what I mean? They just got whatever info they needed and put it out there.
Dude, 4chan goes hard. Like, I mean, things are different now, but back then, whew. Now it's just all porn and people being racist, and real extreme fun shit moved to 8chan, but then that got all child pornography so
like the internet does.
And RJ's like, and that's when I dipped.
yeah.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, yeah, QAnon, sure, no problem. Wait, hold on a minute.
Stop it, Q. Stop it, Q.
This is everything we're supposed to be against, Q cultists.
What's his name? Julian Assange is a whistleblower. These guys are pickle blowers. I'm ready to move on.
From this life.
Okay, part of this massive leak, by the way, was more nudes. This time, images of him in his mother's underwear and bra.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
All right, so the trolls posing as Blanca broke up with Chris after the round of nudes was leaked. She's like, oh my god, you're wearing ladies' underwear, that's gross. And Chris posted a forlorn video lamenting that she broke up with him because of these naked photos. And Chris then, like 4 hours later, revealed he met a woman named Chloe at a GameStop while he was dating Blanca, and they have gone to second base.
Ooh, he's playing baseball now.
Don't get too excited. When asked about Chloe by his fans / trolls the following year, Chris had no recollection of her.
Oh.
I think he might have been fibbing a little bit.
Yeah, I've met the guy that's made up a girlfriend before, so you know that's not.
I am a guy that's made up a girlfriend before. At the end of 2008, the trolls started spamming Chris's website with posts about Ryan Cash, a fictional young fan of Sonichu and the brother of Clyde Cash, the king troll. Basically, they claimed that Ryan was so distressed when Chris refused to release more Sonichu until the Encyclopedia Dramatica was taken down that he took his own life.
Oh my.
Chris never really seemed to have much of a reaction to this, but he did record a message to Ryan's family in a video at the time.
I'm just picturing like the scheming behind all this, and like if we get this is gonna be great, and I don't know, just every time it ups itself, that's it's just one more time, and like how far can we go with this guy?
Mhm.
The trolls also posed as high-level executives of Nintendo, convincing Chris that his characters would be added to the Animal Crossing City Folk game.
Yeah.
During this interaction, Chris revealed the password for his Sonichu.net website so that Nintendo could redesign to prepare for launch, and he was subsequently blocked from accessing his own website. The trolls then held the website hostage, demanding Chris release a video where he comes out of the closet. Chris doubled down and instead released a 10-minute video where he proclaims his complete and total heterosexuality, talks about Playboy magazines, and makes moaning sounds and caressing motions while saying boobies and vaginas.
That's what I do to make people know I'm straight. I just walk down the street going,
Mhm.
boobies, vaginas.
Well, we got to hear your best moan while you're saying it. Otherwise, it's all
The
I'm taking my
James.
headphones off.
Oh, the James. Vagina, vagina, booby. Oh, boobies.
straight.
Oh,
Oh, no.
vagina.
Richard, I think you're getting wet.
I just pissed my pants. You're right.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, that was me squirting.
Amazing.
All right, so he sent this to the troll. The troll said, fine. Instead, upload a video of your parents telling you they are proud of you. And that video never happened.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Aw.
Well, the trolls assumed, yeah, this is because they're not proud of you, dickhead. But I think his parents were kind of proud of him. They responded to emails from, quote, Nintendo, trying to arrange travel. And his father also wrote him letters a lot. And he said kind things in the letters and like positive things about the future and stuff. So I don't know. I think they were a little bit proud of him, but I don't think they knew the whole story.
I think there's a lot of like shutting Chris up too.
Hmm.
Like those letters are not like maybe you could be right, but I have more of a feeling like if we don't write a fucking letter right now or call Nintendo, we're gonna hear about it every minute of every day until we do it. So we'll just do it. We're 85 years old at this point.
Yeah.
Let's just give in.
So Chris never regained control of the website and instead was forced to start a new website, sonichuandrosechew.com. And to pander to his audience, he included an adult section dedicated to erotic art based on Sonichu. Chris was not able to fly to his fabricated meeting with Mr. Miyamoto of Nintendo due to financial constraints. And he claimed in a YouTube video that he had attended the meeting and the video game is off the ground.
How do you spell? Okay, wait, sorry. How do you spell Miyamoto? I'm wondering if they just found some Chinese word for like I'm a robot. And, like,
No,
changed-
he
or
actually
Japanese
is.
word. Oh, okay, never mind then.
You don't know Miyamoto?
I don't know anything.
He invented fucking Mario.
Okay, I don't know anybody by name. I barely know my friends by name.
Well, one of the things that anybody would know who's like is into Nintendo and who should know, Chris doesn't know a lot of stuff, but he doesn't speak a word of English. Not one word. Okay, so once Chris had announced that the video game was off the ground and he went to this meeting and blah, 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 the trolls lowered the boom. And they also decided to accuse him of being a lazy mama's boy that couldn't make it in the business world and told them that Nintendo was no longer interested in pursuing making Sonichu a Nintendo character. So that's fun. And this totally...
Sorry, okay, never mind. Maybe you were just about to say it.
No?
I was just about to ask, like, how does he react to getting fucking busted every time? Does he lose his shit?
Oh, okay, yes, I was going to get to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this devastated Chris, who lashed out at the troll he believed was part of Nintendo. Chris then released a video retracting his previous video and blaming the president of the company's prudish opinions on true love for the failure of the franchise. So it's worth mentioning that most editions of Sonichu had aspects of like PG-13 romance between hedgehogs. Well, and a few of them had tastefully censored intercourse. But one had outright, straight up pornographic depictions of hardcore safe sex, like hedgehogs wearing condoms.
Oh.
Wouldn't even work. They'd pop a hole in them.
Hedgehogs' dicks don't have spikes on them. You have a hedgehog.
I don't jack it off.
He's afraid of getting pricked.
It's not that I wouldn't. I just don't know how to.
I thought I was jacking off because I wasn't. When I was jacking off, would have definitely broke a condom.
Richard comes on the next podcast. His lips are just full of spines. Like, what's up, guys?
I had to think about pussy right in my face. And did I mention my hedgehog's a girl?
Nice. All right, bestiality. I guess we're going there.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Next time on Unethical Podcast.
All right, yeah. So Chris ended up receiving a letter in the mail a few months later from Nintendo, or an actual letter stating that they had never been in contact with him and he had been duped. As I have alluded to, and as RJ has like blown the wad up several times, Chris transitions. But transgender themes first became a part of the Chris Chan story in 2009 when a group of female cartoonists created a Sonichu fan site called Sonichu Girls. And in his messages to these women, he said that sometimes he thinks he was born the wrong gender due to his caring attitude and lack of a sweetheart. But he says he appreciates being born a man.
Amen.
Yeah. And then he continued to spew paragraph upon paragraph, and I'm not exaggerating, paragraphs of how grossed out he is by dicks. Okay, yes, all these women were trolls, and these trolls sent him over-the-top groupie chats about wanting to fuck him and confessing their love to him and like how hot he is. And he was so grateful for them that Chris sent them a package containing 23 individually packed bags of his hair with a hand-drawn certificate of authenticity.
That's brilliant.
Oh my God. And these girls just, did they ask for that? Or did he just, that's his gift to you now?
He gave it to them because they're so wet for him.
Did you really need to ask if they asked?
No, but they're trolls, so maybe they're trying to see how far they can make them go. Like, cut some of your hair off, send us some hair. And then,
Fair enough. I mean, but like this man has like that's the type of situation where even if they did ask, they didn't ask for that. Like they would have just been like, "Hey, like you should send us a like a letter saying this about yourself. What if I added some hair? You want hair too?"
Hey, Richard, did you give Cole a handwritten certificate of authenticity for your beard hair?
I did much better. I had production value. I made a fucking video. And sent it with it. Like that's way more work than writing a letter.
Oh, shit.
So the recipient of this package, the like admin of this troll site or whatever, claimed that the hair was greasy and smelled bad.
Oh.
That is the least surprising turn of events.
No, but he didn't really need to write a certificate of authenticity that way. You know what I mean? You know
That's
what
true.
it is.
Yeah, it
It's
was
pretty
redundant.
Oh yeah, it's authentic. I can tell.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot even that is such a gross concept. Like just picturing Chris Chan and then like adding the sense of smell to that image it makes me want to gag. Like I can't
Yeah.
cannot smell like anything less than like dried Velveeta cheese and like fucking 7-year-old sweat stains on that fucking polo. Ugh.
There have been people who have written about how he smells in public. In the later years, apparently he didn't smell bad. He figured out hygiene. So
Oh, good for him.
But she's a proper lady.
If he washes, he's gonna have to put his hand near a disgusting penis. So
Oh.
all right, trolling ramped up in 2009. An elite group of dedicated Chris Chan trolls started their own online community where they coordinated more elaborate and convincing trolls to get the content that they wanted from Chris. They managed to get access to his home phone number, and Chris began receiving death threats. These death threats and stresses led him to have fecal incontinence, which the trolls discover in one of his video chats, and he makes a video addressing later.
Why is he getting death threats? Like, why are people death threatening him at this point? Just because
It's the internet,
dumb.
man.
Okay, I've never gotten a death threat, and I've said some fucked up shit. That's all I'm saying.
That just
Yeah.
goes to show that you need to start grinding harder because your audience is not big enough.
You're obviously not famous enough, Richard. You're not famous
That's
enough,
fine.
Richard.
You're no Chris Chan, is what we're saying.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
People give death threats on the internet for light things. Like, I mean, the woman who played one of the characters in the Last of Us sequel got death threats for her and her baby just because she played a character that people didn't like what the character did in the fictional thing.
Abby?
Yep.
Yeah, that happened to the actor that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. He
Yep.
quit acting because of it.
Yeah, but Joffrey was a pile of dicks.
Oh, 100%.
It's a fictional thing.
The internet's hard.
Okay. In one online voice chat over Mumble, did anyone ever use Mumble?
I never use Mumble.
It was like
That one.
Discord before Discord.
Mm.
The trolls got Chris to admit that he thinks it's okay for sisters to have sex with each other. In another, they got into an argument with Barb. The trolls actually got into a
Really?
fight with Barb, and Barb called them idiots that don't know anything about the world, and then yelled at Chris for wasting his time answering them.
That's probably the most cogent thing that anybody's ever said to him. That's absolutely true, and that it's like 90% of this is that just transpired because he just kept replying.
Responding.
Yeah.
And he had nothing else going on in his life, did he? He didn't work. He didn't have, like, he obviously didn't have very many friends, like real life friends. So
He was, in fact, the creator of Sonichu.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Put some fucking respect on that, Christy.
Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry.
You should be. It's
I
not
am.
easy being a small business owner and a content creator.
Yeah,
100%.
that's a huge property. He's gonna have a hard time managing that by himself. I get that.
In another one of the Mumble chats, the trolls convinced Chris that his girlfriend, Halo Panda, was killed in an Australian bushfire. And he believed this, actually, that she was dead from a bushfire in Australia. So thus ends Halo Panda.
Can you imagine him in his basement by himself, like crying and screaming about it too?
I don't have to. He recorded himself crying and screaming when the girl was dead.
I forgot he's always got a camera on. Of
Yeah,
course,
you
he
don't have
does.
to imagine anything. You want to see him do it? It's out there. He's done it.
Wow.
Okay, my bad.
It was later revealed in a troll ambush that Halo Panda was part of a group called the Miscreants, a group that claimed to have dedicated their lives to making sure that Chris never gets laid. But when Chris thought Halo Panda was dead, she was quickly replaced by Julie, a Molvonia resident who used Mumble to record all of their phone sex conversations.
Oh.
Now, Chris believed himself to be a gentleman, saying that he would eat so many strawberries so his mouth and jizz would taste good. He also thought that belching was a sign that he had enjoyed a woman's vagina. And he role-played as Sonichu, saying that he was sending lightning up her cooch to make her come.
Dick.
Does that work?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't have one.
The 9-volt batteries lying around.
So 9 volts.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You can ask Bo because she got a massive electric shock at work the other day. So
What was she doing at work that she got an electric shock up her vagina?
That is the best question yet.
well, she said it was on her hand, but I never know with her.
Where was her hand? I got what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna put it out to listener too. Just go onto our Facebook page and let us know if you get shocked in the twat Does it give you
Maybe it's special Pikachu or Sonichu electricity that does that.
Oh,
though.
that's
I mean,
true.
like you've seen Pikachu in the cartoon, like the way that it
yeah.
like
Oh, it's ribbed
it's almost
for her
like
pleasure.
prehensile electricity.
Mm,
it's
Yeah.
electrical tentacles?
Electricals.
Might just be Pokemon vagina magic.
Yeah.
This guy knows nothing about vagina, so it's definitely that.
Knows a lot about strawberries though.
He knows a lot about strawberries.
Yeah. I didn't know they made your jizz taste good.
They don't.
I thought it was pineapple.
Well, nobody had to shatter that illusion for me, but thanks, Celeste.
You're welcome. All food can affect the way that it tastes, but I don't know why people think that anything will make it taste good. Basically, just don't eat like Indian food or fish and it won't taste terrible.
God damn you, Celeste. The last two things I liked.
That's all Richard lives on, fish and Indian food.
Exactly.
He breeds the fish in his backyard by feeding them like fucking
Vindaloo.
like, yeah. Chicken tikka masala.
He also loudly jerked off and came during these conversations, like very loudly.
Awesome.
Okay, he sent this Julie a video of him fucking his sex doll while shouting Julie's name, which was very quickly leaked online.
Oh God.
When Chris was jerking off on cam for Julie, Julie would tell the other trolls in the miscreants to call Chris's home phone to try to convince his parents to walk in on him, telling them that Chris was threatening to kill himself online.
There's not many times I'm fucking like dumbfounded. I don't even know what to say to that. Like, yum, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. I feel like this is a safe space. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Like, if you're gonna bully somebody, that is the.
Can you imagine? Poor Barb would have a fucking heart attack and then they'd capture that on camera as well.
There is no fucking way they have not caught him jerking off prior to that. Even if that happened, she would just come in and
Oh,
be
of
like,
course.
again.
He would, if
God,
this is
side
true,
Chris.
he'd be like, "Mom, get me a sandwich," and he'd be standing at the door jerking it while she
Yeah.
walked in. Like he did that on
Oh.
purpose. You know what I mean? Like
Ugh.
that's what he's trying to do. Like, I'm not getting
Oh,
tricked by the
God.
sandwich again. Fine, I'll get fucking someone to call 911 then, Mom. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh God, this guy makes me feel so gross in my own skin. Just so gross. I need to have a shower. Ugh.
On one occasion, it did work, and Bob walked in on Chris jerking off on the.
Oh, yeah. Listen, what are you doing? Nothing. I'm getting all these crazy damn calls. What are you doing? Nothing. Give me that crap. Now, what's going on? Dad, will you get out of here? No, I will not. People tell me that you're about to kill yourself on YouTube. What? What are you doing? I'm not doing anything. I'm going to wake your mother up and find out? No. Then get out of here, off that internet. Fine. What is your trouble? I'm not going to kill myself. Get away from that TV. Fine. Get away from the internet. I'm cutting it down right now. No! Dad, no! Yes. No! Don't do it, Dad. I'm going to shut this thing right down. No. Yes. No. Dad, no. Stop. Go wake your mother up. Don't bother me. You tell her what's going on. This thing is going to go down. No. Yes.
you know how
Damn
many
it,
internets
damn
you've been
internet.
using? You've been using too much internets.
So the trolls quickly made that interaction into a meme, calling Bob the internet lumberjack.
I'm cutting it down. Yeah, nice.
Chris's mom also became a meme among them because of her size and the videos of her sleeping on Chris's Yep, I'm on TV DVD. Whenever they were on audio chats with him, they would try to get Chris to bring Barb in so that they could talk to her. And when they wanted Chris to bring Barb in, they would say, "Summon Snorlax."
And he was cool. Like, my God. My mom's not Thorlax. Mom!
That was a lot of it. Okay, Julie had actually talked to Bob several times, and Bob was very fond of Julie. And Bob is like 80 at this time. They like talked about like music and shit, and I don't know, he liked Julie. Clyde Cash, the king troll, would end up in these conversations as well, and he would threaten Julie as he had previously threatened Halo Panda. And Chris, and he told Chris that he would kill her if Chris didn't make a video confessing that he was gay. And for the first time, Chris finally loved something enough to do it. He created a video talking about his homosexuality. However, he designed the video to communicate that he was in distress to his like real fans, and used the term Gabian to describe himself. He never said he was gay outright.
I like that.
That's thinking with your noggin.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Clyde refused to accept this video. So Chris released another video. This time he did say, "I'm gay."
Okay, shit.
I changed my mind.
And Julie also convinced Chris that "I love you" in her native language, Molvonian, was actually the German phrase for "I am gay." And so he frequently said this in videos where he mentioned her.
It's so weird logic, man. I'm gonna pretend I'm gay so the girl likes me.
Well, Clyde was like, "I'll kill her just like I did Halo Panda unless you do this." And he's like, "No, I'm in love with Julie." Okay, so Clyde also convinces Chris to destroy his possessions to show Julie that he loves her. And because Julie wants him to, and Julie will choose Clyde if Chris doesn't do this to prove his love to her, he complies, sort of. He starts very small with a vibrator that came free with one of his many purchases from adamandeve.com. He destroyed that on camera and was like, "Look how much I love you. I ruined this vibrator."
Offensive.
Yeah.
You meant business.
Clyde is kind of like, he's funny. He's an interesting troll. As you'll come to find, a lot of the trolls in this are. He tries to give Chris like actual life advice about not sounding racist, getting a job, becoming independent, cleaning his room, not creeping out women, because he's trying to make Chris improve his own life by threatening that if you don't do these things to improve your own life, Julie's going to get hurt. But there's like nothing embarrassing about it.
No, he's a bad guy, but like he's torturing an autistic and mentally ill man. Like, yeah, sure, maybe he's like sprinkling a little like, "Oh, all right, well, listen here, pal," but no, there's no way around it. Like these,
but maybe it's the opposite. Okay, go. Sorry,
I was just like it's a mixed bag, because like you have Chris, who is the entity that he is at the time, and he can't help but keep feeding into this, and he does, and that's a choice he's making, and then he doesn't have any kind of support network that's going to try and prevent him from doing that. But you know, you're not going to take that away. What could feasibly have never been there is the people who were fucking picking on him.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like if people were like a little bit better, this would have happened. But
maybe, and I don't know this. Maybe Celeste could correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe Clyde started with like, "Let's try and help this guy," and then he just kept being Chris Chan. And he said, "Fuck it." You ever do that? Like where you try to help someone, and then they continue to be the way they are, and you're just like, "Whatever, man." Then you just keep pushing the like. Now I'm gonna have to like. You won't stop now. I have to fucking troll him. Like I can't help myself. It's impossible not to.
Clyde came in as a troll, like a ruthless troll, but I actually think after having all these conversations with him and stuff, he actually started caring about him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like he's so inside of it at this point. Like
maybe he
that's
felt
just a
bad
part of your life. Yeah, he had like, I'm sure he had like a semblance of conscience, but it didn't stop him from still being an asshole about. Like you could also just stop doing it and walk away from it. Like that would be the ultimate thing. Like let's not try to like half-assed undo some of it or make up for it in like the weakest ways possible.
I think it's sort of manipulating
I
the other trolls too, because he's accountable to these other trolls now for this level of access, and so he's like still kind of being a dick, but also using it as opportunities to try to help Chris actually be a better person. For like one of the things in one of the ambushes from the miscreants, this is like where one of them hops on a mumble call and then all of them show up. One of the trolls kept telling Chris to kill himself, and then Clyde fucking snapped and lost it on him and scolded the other troll. And he was like, Chris, I don't want you to do that. Okay. Like this is not what we want. I promise. Fuck this other guy. Don't listen to him. So I think he does care a little bit.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it doesn't make him a fucking paragon, though. Like,
I don't think it does.
The bare minimum you can do is, yeah. I mean, I just don't agree with painting anybody in this story in a positive light. I mean, like
it's
you
good
can
that
acknowledge.
I was just gonna say it's good he had like limits, you know, like I'm gonna stop when the kid's trying to kill himself, but I don't think that stopped him from doing everything else.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah, he stopped somebody from bullying him into killing himself. Thank God for restraint. Like,
I mean, that's at least he could stop himself. Like, people are fucked.
Yeah, no, these are all like shitty people and like the most pathetic people on the internet. But it's just interesting that their dynamic is human, which is what I find interesting about trolls. They're like a faceless entity, but when you actually focus in on one, it's like an actual person with actual feelings and possible regrets. And I mean, if you don't acknowledge that as part of the story, it loses one of the dimensions, I think.
oh yeah, I don't mean to run over it and say that it's not worth noting. I just don't think it's sane to think any of these guys didn't, like, they should all fully regret all of this today. Like,
Oh, for sure. And
like,
I don't
this
think
is something
that.
that
I don't think
they're all
Celeste tried.
complicit. Like, no, I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel that way either.
There's no
I
letting
just-
off the hook of these guys. It's just they were
Yeah.
at least fucking people about it.
Yeah, he just had that veil lift a little bit.
Okay, so also in the same period, all these chats on Mumble, they also got Chris to confess that he drinks his own jizz from the plastic cup. So all that they knew before this was that he jizzed into plastic cups to not make a mess, but then he confessed, I actually drink it. And he calls it recycling it. He's like, no abandoned babies. I swallow them, put them right back in my balls.
I love that that's the first note that starts this back up again.
I just
Went so deep on the morals of these guys and the justifications. And it was like, yeah, it's very complex. Anyways, they made him drink his own cum.
No, they didn't make him. He told them that he does this. Nobody made him do this.
Oh, okay.
This is something he's always done. He calls it recycling it. It's a way of like, it's like Tesla being celibate. He's like putting it back into himself for whatever reason,
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
with less self-control than Tesla had.
Yeah.
Oh, until the pigeon came around.
oh, that made my Vegemite toast rise up in my stomach a little bit.
Ew, I'd rather drink
Ugh.
cum than eat Vegemite.
That was like something someone pretending to be Australian would say. Oh boy, that made me my koalas go nuts.
Yeah, so he made a video specifically to talk about how he recycles later. So not only do the trolls know, he has actually acknowledged it to the whole world now that he recycles. In a troll chat, Chris also admitted that he would be interested in a threesome with 2 men or 2 women. Trolls used this comment to try to set him on a gay rage again, which they did. In another, he claimed that he had voices in his head that tell him that he's gay.
That's called reading, Chris. You're just reading it all the time. No voice in your head. It's your own voice reading.
Mm-hmm.
He said, okay, yeah. So anyway, my point in that, he claimed that he had voices in his head that tell him that he's gay, and that one time he listened to them, and that he put anal beads up his ass. And he said he wasn't into it, and he didn't like that they came out covered in shit. So he didn't do that anymore.
My God.
That's where my poo comes from. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Oh, God. This story is so traumatizing.
There's so much more though. Just Come on,
Oh,
stay
God,
with
oh,
me.
God.
Stay with me.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
In one interaction, a new girl was trying to convince Chris to dump Julie for her. And when Chris refused and accidentally called her by the wrong name, this troll told him that she was cutting herself and then left the conversation telling him that she was going to kill herself. And this is one of the things where I was like, okay, this isn't trolling, this is torture.
Oh, is this the moment?
This is there's been a lot of things, but you're all about like he does it to himself. And I don't care how far you did it to yourself at this point. That's where it gets too far. You're making this guy like, I don't know. I agree. Too far with the I'm gonna go kill myself. You know he's gonna fucking lose his shit. He might go kill himself if you anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's coming.
He released a video right after where he was crying and praying that she was okay and expressing his guilt for what he'd done to her and begging her to come back. And like he was genuinely very distressed about this.
How long in between this girl pretending to kill herself and the one where they killed off the last girlfriend? Like, is he just now devastated after a week of talking to this girl? Has it been months? You know what I mean? Like, he just had another girlfriend die not that long ago.
Okay,
The
so
bushfire.
the bushfire girl dies, and then he's in a relationship with Julie within like a couple of weeks. So he wasn't super distressed about that, really.
No, it's weird.
He moves on quickly, but this girl, this isn't a girl that he's dating or anything. This is just a random troll that happened to be in the chat that day.
Yeah.
And he'd never interacted with her before.
I feel less bad. Go kill yourself. You're just a person that showed up. It's not like he's like attached to this person. Fucking, if there's that many people in the chat, how many people would just be like, I want to kill myself?
Yeah, well, Chris felt really bad about this for a little while. Within the next couple of hours, he released another video apologizing for the homophobic comments that he'd made in the past, saying that he respects the gays and that he is able to be friends with them as long as they don't do gay stuff around him. And so this was probably at the urging of another troll that he was talking to at the time. But he forgot about this other chick pretty quickly. So the miscreants decide to amp it up a little bit. They send Chris an email saying that Julie has been kidnapped and they've taken her to their headquarters. And if he did not come to rescue her in Ohio himself, they would send her to China, where they would traffic her and something would happen to her. It's not really clear, but bad things.
I just love that it's always the most unbelievable shit. And he's like, yep, the absolute truth. Got it.
Yep. Yeah, a lot like our buddy Mark. He's kind of like that.
Oh.
Okay, so Chris tells them that he will put his foot down with his mom to give him the money to go save her. But not right now because she's sleeping, and it won't be easy because she's jealous of him loving Julie more than her. And he's busy with his aunt's funeral, but he'll be on it pretty soon.
I am going to save her, but you just need to just wait a minute.
Just hang tight. I'm busy with other things.
Mum's asleep. So
That also does like raise the question to me. Like something I ask is like, how much of this did he like know was bullshit, but just chose to like believe it anyways?
He goes.
Okay, he
goes to Ohio to rescue her. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Just after a few days.
But he's recording it the whole time.
He's making content the whole time. Yeah, right.
Well, this is what he said in a chat that was recorded by the trolls. He doesn't film anything in between this and when he goes to rescue her because he is actually busy with his aunt's funeral and stuff. But this is what we know through the trolls.
Good looking out, Celeste. You got Chris Chan's back on that one. No, his aunt really is.
Well, she is. She actually died. So.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, it's a few days before Chris actually goes to Ohio. In those few days, Bob checks the mail to find a postcard featuring a still shot of Chris from the video where he has sex with his sex doll. And Bob took away his video recording equipment.
So what? So he could have it? You know what I mean? Oh, what kind of footage you got on here? Because I don't think he's normal either.
No.
You got the good stuff, do you? I'm thinking he's enjoyed getting the picture, and he wanted more, so he took away his stuff.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm joking.
Okay, so after his aunt's funeral, Chris gets in his car and he makes the drive to Cleveland, Ohio. And when he arrived at the address, it belonged to an elderly woman, and Julie was not there, and they just brought some random old lady into their troll, and it was not cool of them.
Oh, that's so mean.
It is mean.
Oh.
So Chris returned to Ruckersville the same day. When he returned, the miscreants had gained access to his new website and his PSP, and they locked him out of those as well. Now, they gave him the choice to either free Julie or get access back to the website and the PSP. Like, he tried his damnedest to get both, but he did ultimately end up choosing Julie. Now, this part, honestly, is very distressing to me, and watching it and stuff was very difficult. But a very, very obviously 13-year-old new ringleader showed up for this negotiation. His online name was Blue Spike, and the other trolls called him Max. So Max fucked with Chris for ages during this encounter, calling him a bitch, telling him the only way to get Julie and his PSP back would be to suck a dude's dick. Max also just made Chris say random shit that they think is funny, like the N-word. He dropped some Napoleon bombs. And this actual child forced Chris to shove his Sonichu medallion up his ass on camera, and then mocked him for having to make it smaller with kid scissors because he's autistic. And Chris does this all live on video for the trolls, like streak marks in his undies from his incontinence. And finally, when the medallion is firmly all the way up Chris's ass, one of the trolls had enough. They were like, Max, stop this shit now. And Max doubles down. Max tells Chris that if you wash your hands, I'll kill Julie. And so if he wants Julie and the PSP back, he will have to burn his house down, is what he tells him. And so that's when the trolls are like, okay, that's enough. That's enough. We're not doing this anymore. End this shit. And Max agrees. He's like, fine. Okay, I'll end it. And then he calls Julie onto the mic, and Julie talks to Chris, and she says, I have something really important to tell you, Chris. And he says, this whole time, you've been having sex with a 13-year-old boy, you sick fuck. He had no idea. And he had no idea how to respond to this or where to go from here. And he's like facing like 20 trolls in this chat. And then Max threatens that he's going to report Chris to Chris Hansen, to catch a pedophile or whatever the fuck it's called. And so Chris starts defending himself. He's like, I didn't know that you were 13. I didn't know any of this. And then Max basically says, unless you send me the video that you have of you shoving this medallion up your ass, I'm going to report you for being a pedophile. Chris basically cuts in, and he's like, you know what? It's time for me to start learning from my mistakes. I think it's time for me to just go outside.
Well, that's a cautionary tale to the young ones out there. Don't send any nudes ever. Don't ever do that.
Yeah,
it could be a 13-year-old kid.
let's marinate on Blue Spike for a moment, because that's honestly like the most incredible part. Like, that's one of the highlights of this whole saga for me, is that a child thought it would be funny to troll an adult man through the actual trouble of having definite phone sex with him.
Yeah.
And being like, LMAO, this is so funny. Like, and engaging in what is basically cyber sex with this man, but being like, got you, bro.
Yeah. It's like, I wouldn't find that funny if someone was like, oh yeah, I've been having phone sex with this guy for like months to like make fun of him. I'd be like, how is that making fun of him if you're actually engaging in the actions? Like,
you're getting enjoyment out of this. Also, you're having gay phone sex with this guy.
Yeah, it's like sucking a dick and being like, you're gay because someone's sucking your dick. You know what I mean?
And that's like, because this is like, that's like one of like the tent poles for me. Just like, that's just one of the most absurdly stupid things that you like, and it's just like peak trolling of like, you know, neckbeard basement dweller type shit where it's just like, you are a fucking moron.
Yeah, I'm yeah, it's confusing.
Plus, they're children. I'm sorry, a 13-year-old, you don't make good decisions.
No, totally. I mean, I don't think this person's ever like, I don't know if anybody even knows who they are.
Thank God.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I hope they do. Like, I want like that person to. I bet that person wakes up in cold sweats waiting, because it's been what, like 12 years or something. You know, they're working at a warehouse job, just hoping they don't get fucking canceled from their minimum wage Amazon.
Yeah, anyway, that really distressed me, that whole thing. Just like listening to it and listening to the confusion and the like fear and the reluctance, and it was sexual assault is what it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can a 13-year-old sexually assault an adult?
I think in this way they can.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
No, shouldn't it? Before an adult goes on the internet and starts sending dick pics around, shouldn't they know who they're communicating with? For sure.
Yeah, but
That's you being irresponsible with your cock with 13.
He's disabled, though. I think that's a really important aspect.
Chris isn't an adult. Yeah, like that's.
You can be still be a sexual assaulter being a handicapped person. Sorry. You don't get away with it because you're handicapped.
But you have to look at the power dynamic to figure out who was actually the abuser in this. I'm not gonna pretend like it isn't like a weird gray thing, but the 13-year-old who is also a minor and isn't capable of making good choices. That's not like an innocent choice you make, though. Like, there are 13-year-olds who have psychosis or who have, you know, personality disorders that cause them to do things that hurt people for their own enjoyment. And in that situation, he knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? And taking advantage of a disabled man. It's the same thing as if like you saw a 13-year-old push a dude out of his wheelchair on the street. Who's in power in that situation? Do you know what I mean?
It's tantamount, but the guy in the wheelchair is not doing anything wrong to begin with already.
No, but even if he's like cussing at the kid or whatever, I mean,
if you're throwing your dick around the internet and a 13-year-old sees it, you're in trouble. I don't care what the situation is.
Right.
That you're throwing your dick around. There's a big problem there. And I'm sorry that this 13-year-old was a piece of shit, but he is not the adult who should be like, yes, he should be doing things, but the adult should be keeping his dick in his pants or his medallion around his neck.
Right. I'm not saying that Chris shouldn't face consequences for something like that. Yeah. However, I'm also saying that regardless of age in that situation, that person should face consequences as well. I'm
just saying it's not sexual assault. I don't think it is. He's putting his dick out into the public realm. He is doing it. That 13-year-old, if a 13-year-old tells me to put my dick out on the internet, I go, no.
What part do you think that I'm talking about being sexual assault?
The kid telling the guy to, or are you talking about, I thought you were saying since he made him do sex acts on a kid sexually assaulting Chris Chan. That's what I thought you were saying.
He made him shove something up his asshole, Richard.
That's the only part that I'm talking about. Yes, that's the only part, is that he blackmailed / coerced another person into violating themselves in that way. So it is equivalent, in my opinion, to sexual assault, regardless of the age. And you can't say that 13-year-olds can't sexually assault someone. Of course they can.
No, but a fucking pureblood adult is what I'm saying. Yes, of course.
But let me frame it this. So like, I think from Richard's perspective, he's kind of saying it like, it would be like if an adult wasn't wearing their pants in a room with a 13-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, and then that 13-year-old decides to assault that adult. Like, who was in the wrong there? Because that adult shouldn't not be wearing their, you know what I mean? Like, the context is everything. So I get where you're coming from. Like, you shouldn't be exposing yourself in a situation like that, but you also shouldn't be of the mind to be like, I'm going to escalate this. You know what I mean?
Nobody's okay with this. Everyone's all fucked with this. I'm just saying that, like,
it may be obviously that Chris did something wrong in this case where he didn't verify that this person was over 18 or whatever.
That's what
all you can do is just say, are you over 18? And then she's going to say, yeah, I'm 25. Well, that's it is what it is, you know. But in this case, I think the most important thing is that Chris didn't use blackmail or coercion as a means to show his dick to these people. They used blackmail and coercion as a means to make him shove his medallion up his ass. That's why I think that, yeah, you know what, you can prosecute this kid for it, but it is sexual assault. They knew what they were doing.
I don't know. At a certain point, I think parents and fucking responsible adults should be held accountable for like what your kids are doing on the internet. You know, that's kind of where I was going with this thing. Like the parents of this 13-year-old, how is this happening? How are you? Anyways, I guess you're 13.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can get into all kinds of weeds on it. I mean, like, that's why I think it's, you know, I've been focusing that on Chris, like, you know, like what cocktail of environment and internal issues fosters that type of personality to come out, and the actions and the choices that he makes. Same thing could be said about any, you know, antisocial individual that does that kind of shit on the internet, including fucking Blue Spike.
It's complicated. It's more complicated than like, well, sure, it's sexual assault. I just feel like fuck, Chris Chan shouldn't be shoving shit up his ass on the internet. And like 13-year-olds can tell you to do whatever you want all day long on the internet. And if you do it, when does like it's like, what's that girl that talked her boyfriend into committing suicide on the phone? Like, it's just hard for me to pick who the fucking real bad guy is in that situation. Yes, of course, they're both bad guys, but like, who caused what? Where would this have stopped? Was it the kids making him do that? Or if he just would have been like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be shoving medallions up my ass. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah, no, but I think like then you get into like nitpicking, like what does more harm, because they were laughing and thinking it was hilarious while, you know, like he is driven by whatever.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I'm just saying, I'm just bringing it up. I'm willing to be on both sides of this. Honestly, it's just something to think about. That's all.
Yeah, except for the fact that you said definitively a 13-year-old can't sexually assault.
Well, I don't. I asked. Actually, I did not say that. I said, can a 13-year-old sexually assault an adult? That was my question, because I don't really see how that works. But if you don't know it's a 13-year-old, I guess you can.
Absolutely. I could probably pull up web pages upon web pages of that happening. I mean, just look at like, because you can just regular assault adults. I mean, that's something that happens routinely in schools today with teachers and everything. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm just trying to like, it's the internet, man. It's like, it's not like you're in the same room. That makes sense. Like, you can definitely sexually assault someone but you're telling someone to do something. You should not be throwing your cock around, or you're shoving shit up your ass on a live stream.
Agreed.
That's just what I'm thinking. That's where
Agreed.
I'm at.
And I think I'm just saying that victims can be victimizers and victimizers can also be victims. It's just it's a gray world. It's not.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's what I'm saying. I'm willing to be on both sides of this. I just want to think about it. I'm not just gonna go like the kids are the super douchebags. Like, fuck, man.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, I think for any listeners who are also torn on this debate, I think a good place to start is by actually watching it and listening to it, because you'll hear that Chris, he's not in his right mind in this situation at all. He has no understanding. He's completely confused. He functions so poorly as a person. His reasoning skills, my 7-year-old has better reasoning skills than he has. He's very disabled.
Yeah, he needed like serious therapy throughout his life. I mean, you're talking about somebody who couldn't hold down a part-time job at Wendy's.
That's true. And I always forget that nowadays it's a lot different. Like, it's 10 years ago. I know it doesn't sound like lots, but for the internet, it's a shit ton of time. Right? Yeah. Because like, I can monitor my kids easily what they're fucking doing all day long on the internet. I know exactly.
But you have to care enough and to make that choice to do that as a parent.
That's true.
So Chris has left the chat. A few days later, he posts a new video, this poor sad man, where he quells the concerns of his fans.
Thank God.
Not about him being a pedophile.
Okay.
But because of one of the things that Max made him say while he was torturing him, which was that the new mayor of Quickville was Billy Mays. And Chris wanted to assure the fans that Chris Chan was still mayor of Quickville. So like, very weird fucking priorities.
That's a turn.
What are you talking about? Weird. What are you going to have everybody going around believing that you're not in charge of your own shit? I'll be goddamn. I will die on the fucking hip. If somebody tries to say that I'm not in charge of my own Animal Crossing town, I'm gonna put everything aside. Me being a pedophile, me shoving something up my ass on camera, whatever my dad's banging on my door about again. Okay. The important things are who's in charge of my Animal Crossing town, and then everything else.
All right. So in Chris's next mumble chat, the girl who threatened to kill herself returned, and Chris tried to start a conversation with her. Now that he's no longer with Julie, he's like, hey, remember how like hot you thought I was and stuff? And she was like, buddy, I'm just a troll. You're disgusting. However, I did want to tell you that I've met another troll in this group, thanks to you, and we're now madly in love.
Aw.
And then she openly mocked him because she found the thing that he could never have because he was trying so hard to get it.
Just you gain nothing. Like I don't.
They just don't want to let up on him.
Well, that's just the fucking problem with the internet, because like I'm not gonna sit here and like on a high horse and pretend like I haven't like considered hurting someone who annoys me that much to that level. Do you know what I mean? Like it crosses your mind, that call of the void or whatever, but like just having a screen in front of you just takes away any of the inhibition.
So after this whole new trauma, and I'm not exactly sure why, his newfound acceptance of the homosexuals vanishes, and he instead starts reading the Bible in his videos to condemn them.
Is he doing like because Stone Cold said so? Like, is he reading Austin 3:16? Like, is he reading a specific passage all the time?
Or is he being like a televangelist preacher? Like,
no, he's literally just like sitting in a chair, like reading passages from the Bible that like condemn homosexuals.
Oh, darling.
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal with that was. He also vows to stop talking to women on the internet and instead picking up his love quest back in his little town. And he does end up being asked on a date by a local woman named Emily, who was a troll in the group, of course, unbeknownst to him.
Oh, man.
Chris ended up getting nervous and leaving before they were supposed to meet for the first date, and he sent her a recorded video apology afterwards.
How did you not see it coming?
I don't know.
I'm trying to get you to do it again.
He is. He doesn't understand anything. He's so helpless. He's like such a helpless little idiot, and he's also a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like again, he's got no one there to look out for him. Because I mean, like he's obviously like a very malleable person, you know.
Just got bribed by a kid to tell him he's a pedophile to the police, and he goes all in again on a troll. Like, at a certain point, man, you got to be like, are you 13? Let's ask some questions from before 2000, like 1995 questions. Let's see what you know. Like,
but break it down. Like, what happens when he starts to second guess any of that stuff? It's going to stall, any of the actual drama from happening, because I think prior to it being like fully illegal stuff, he's thrilled with the attention. Like, it's
fair enough. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Off that, yeah,
it's clicks and shit. I get it.
He just wants to be loved. He just wants to find his sweetheart.
Yeah, he just wants to get like a barrel of strawberries and just down those bad boys and see where the night takes him.
Why don't you just like turn your internet off and go like spend some quality time with your mom and dad?
He does not have those coping tools for all of the reasons that have been established.
He needs to go on a TV show like Dating on the Spectrum. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, I love that show.
That's the type of thing he needed to do, where he could find a like-minded young lady that he could build Sonitude's universe with.
I don't know, man. I watched some of Love on the Spectrum, but I watched The Undateables, and it was always constant. The completely physically normal looking people with autism had so much more trouble finding a match than the people who had physical disabilities
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
who are physically deformed in some way, because
Yep.
it's so much more important how you are as a person than how you look. And
Yeah.
he's just, I don't know, repellent as a person.
Mm.
But the thing that Love on the Spectrum does that I think that is what everybody in Chris's situation needs is, you know, the you know, just like support and just like, you know, honesty and just this constant like, you know, level of you know, coaching that helps you to figure out like, okay, things are harder for you because you don't have the same innate reactions or decision making that it seems like 99% of everybody else does. So you just have to navigate this world like that. He had none of that. Like, and I think had he gotten access to those things at a younger age and didn't have total fuck off jerkwad parents, things would have been different for him. I'll stop. I sound like a broken record on it now, but
No, you're right. Like if he had more people in his life that could help him to actually understand things on his level and to kind of it's like on the show this autistic guy is like, I'm going to marry a supermodel and we're going to have 7,000 babies. And so he was introduced to this therapist that was like, okay, that's a lovely idea, but let's look at it from this perspective and maybe find someone that's a little bit more, you know, that you can get along with better and talk to better. And, you know, he ended up dating a couple of girls that he really liked and that actually really liked him. And it was because the therapist helped him to bring his expectations to a level that was more capable for his brain. So
right.
Yeah, but Chris definitely did not have that in his life at all.
No, yeah, and like so much of that, like that rhetoric that he spouts, like all the homophobic stuff, like you absolutely know 90% of that is just like probably like offhanded shit Bob said, like in the kitchen some mornings, you know, about or what even his mom being in agreement, and he's just absorbing all this like homophobia and racism and all that stuff, and then it just gets regurgitated because it's all he knows, you know. I don't know. I don't like feel bad for him in the sense where it's like, oh, he's an innocent victim, but it totally tracks.
Okay. Do you guys remember when I mentioned the anti-troll?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't.
Okay, so basically he's this guy who would like make Chris Chan sort of style videos, and he reached out to Chris Chan to basically be like, I stand up against bullies for people like you. I hate trolling. This is just another troll, however. So this is like somebody that he's gotten to know quite well. So this man, Robert, came to Chris's town and attended church with Chris's family. So Robert comes into church with a recording device and he records all of their interactions. So the recording wasn't that interesting. Basically, all of it was just Robert talking to Bob, because Bob just gets up in everybody's business all the time and just loves to talk. And Chris is awkward, so he said almost nothing the whole time.
So Bob out-talks him?
So much.
That's fantastic.
Well, you'll see that later when Bob also accompanies Chris on one of his dates.
Oh,
That's incredible.
what? Come on, Bob.
Okay, so after this, Chris receives a call from a woman named Ivy. And this woman tried to get Chris to shout her friend out in one of his videos. And Chris did. And he said, for no reason, that if things didn't work out with Emily, he would consider Ivy for his sweetheart. And he said this for no reason. Emily's the chick that's actually from his town, and they were supposed to go on a date, but then he got cold feet. So, but yeah, anyway, like
Things are already working out.
he's just like, he's a fucking ding dong. He loves to act like women fight over him.
Yeah, I've noticed. He's a big prize. He's the supreme gentleman. He's like Elliot Rodger.
Well, anybody who eats that many strawberries is obviously thinking about women first. All right.
Okay, Emily showed up for their second date, and she also brought with her two other trolls, one to observe and one to audio record. And like I mentioned, Chris brought his father on the date.
Oh God.
So they started the date by taking a photo together. And as Bob often does, he started reminiscing about his youth like a senile old fool and making things extremely boring unless you're an engineer for several minutes. And he also tells Emily that Chris is bad with money and relies on his parents a lot. And that is, of course, what every girl wants to hear on a first date. And Chris says very little. So Bob did briefly leave the table in the food court where Chris and Emily exchanged a few words, and Chris tried to make a move on her, asking to put his hand on her shoulder. She said, okay, but not for too long. And he flirts with her, and he asks her if she likes his Axe body spray. And Chris was very into Axe body spray,
Yes.
to the commercials of women flocking to the guy who wears the Axe body spray. In one of the issues of Sonichu, he put like an ad for Axe body spray, and he said it was so good you don't even need to bathe.
Oh, okay. So now we're understanding where the smell comes from.
Now I know what his hair smells like. Tiger Fang and fucking BO. That's perfect.
Hot. Hot.
Locker room sexual assault.
Chris actually did stop using Axe body spray after he discovered that gay men use Axe body spray as well. And he made a video and wrote a very strongly worded letter to inform the gays that you're not supposed to use this because it's supposed to make women flock to you, not dudes. So he's like, the gays have ruined Axe body spray and I shall never use it
Well,
again.
maybe he was just looking out for them. Like, no, you don't understand what it'll do. You
Yeah.
really believed in the power of Axe.
He did.
Oh, the commercials, man. As if you believe, like, wow, I wonder what other commercials you believe. Like, I wonder if tricks are for kids, silly rabbit.
Don't fuck around with that. You know that's true.
Chris and Emily took a very brief walk around the mall together, and suddenly, out of nowhere, appears a man in a pickle costume.
I was not expecting that.
Do you guys remember the pickle thing? Chris hates pickles.
Oh, yeah, for
yes. Oh, no.
sure. Yeah.
All right, so this pickle man approaches the two and tries to get Emily to leave and go see a movie with him. And Chris gets defensive about the pickle suit, and the pickle man's like, chill the fuck out, man. I have no idea who you are. Like, I'm just getting off work at the pickle store. And so Emily agrees to go and see Watchmen with the pickle man. And the two part ways. And Chris tries to kiss her on the cheek before she leaves, and she says no thank you.
Oh.
So yeah, anyway, he like sort of goes on about the pickle man for like quite a long time after this. It's not that really like interesting, but he believes the conspiracy of the pickle man. Okay, so when Chris gets home from his date, he finds out that while he was gone, Clyde sent prostitutes to his house, and his father had to call the police to have them removed. Clyde later told Chris that he was trying to help him. He was trying to help him stop being a virgin with rage.
Always looking out for him, that Clyde.
Nice.
Thanks, Clyde.
Yeah.
Well, you're right, Celeste. He's looking out for him for sure. He paid for those hookers, probably. You can't just send hookers to houses without down payment. So he put a lot of money into those hookers.
I will say this isn't chronological. This is over the entire course of like the 4 years that he talked with Clyde. He started trying to help him.
I gotcha.
All right. So the next day, Emily calls Chris and confronts him about trying to touch her and kiss her, and told him that the pickle man was a perfect gentleman and that he had introduced her to Clyde, who rehabilitates all the women that Chris had mistreated in the past. And she warns him to treat women with more respect on a first date if he doesn't want the pickle man taking all of his women to Clyde. All right, so thus is the end of Emily. Chris soon falls in love with Ivy, and he professes his love for her all over the internet, and he taped her caricature over one of his sex doll's face and kisses it obnoxiously in several videos.
Is this pickle man like? Sorry, I'm thinking about the pickle man. Is there like videos? Like, is he an industry? Is there all these trolls just coming by and like figuring out ways to, and then they get like 1 million views because they're making fun of Chris Chan?
Nope.
Like, there's no. So they just did that for fun.
Yes. There is absolutely
My
nothing they're
fuck.
gaining from this.
Wow.
My God, like you lost an afternoon. You wasted your time.
Yep. For attention
Okay.
from other shitty people.
I guess so. Now he's got. Now they're on Ivy, who's probably just Emily again.
Yes. Well, it's not. It's not actually. Emily does come back up, but let's find out how Ivy is
Okay.
going to torture Chris. Ivy had Chris record a cover of him singing I Need a Hero. And Chris asked if he could cover the Shrek 2 version, and she was like, no, it has to be the Bonnie Tyler version.
Of course.
So he creates a video of him singing along, shredding on his Guitar Hero guitar, spliced in with clips of a Sonichu like mini comic that he created where he saves Ivy from getting hit by a train.
All right, hold on.
Oh, God.
Is anyone feeling like it's a bit ridiculous that he didn't get some pussy by now?
Right from the beginning, man.
I know, like,
The Guitar Hero guitar is selling me. Like I'm a little
Right?
bit more interested now. Yeah, for sure.
He's been using Axe body spray. He should have been fucked
That's-
years
Yeah.
ago.
Ivy also got Chris to record a video tour of his house for the trolls. And this gave the trolls a more detailed glimpse into the real filth and hoarding conditions in which he lived.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ivy got Chris to record another video at her request where he educated her cousin about the dangers of holding in your farts. A lot of it was him reading off an internet printout, but at one point he says, my favorite thing ever, my favorite celebrity quote of all time, all I know is fart. And I wish that was my senior yearbook quote instead of whatever Latin bullshit I put thinking I was an intellectual.
When I was a kid, we tricked one of my friends on a sleepover at my house that if you ate a bunch of X-Lax and didn't eat, you'd have big farts. So we ate a bunch of X-Lax. It was bad news.
I bet.
Oh, Richard, you're a horrible human being.
Settle down, Blue Spike.
We're
Yeah.
watching Chris Chan right now. I think whatever I did is pretty fucking
I
terrible.
mean, it's actually just kind of like slightly the inverse because Blue Spike made him put something up his ass. You
Yeah. Richard's helping people expel things.
I'm only 13. I can't be held responsible.
That's right. You did no wrong.
Okay, he rounds out the video by singing I Like Farts from the TV show Family Guy while jamming on his Guitar Hero guitar. Oh, yes, he also sends Ivy a video to prove to her that his semen tastes like strawberries when he eats a lot of strawberries. Now, this video in no way proves that, and that is not something that you can prove over video, Chris, you moron. But either way, he jerks off on cam, and then he pours Fanta into a cup with his jizz, and he drinks that on camera. Which was shortly after leaked, and he blamed that interference once again on internet trolls, not Ivy being a troll.
All that matters is he has that proof that it tastes like strawberries.
It was orange Fanta.
Yeah, and then he turned it into strawberry orange Fanta.
God, what's wrong with him? Don't they know you're supposed to mix it with Sprite? Jesus.
Like mixing vodka and Coke. You don't do it.
Yum.
Oh, by the way, my mom was watching this documentary at the same time as me because I was fascinated by it and I needed to talk to somebody about it. And she messaged me about this part, and I was able to recall from the time that I was on RJ's podcast about the Nature's Cookbook or whatever the fuck.
You don't know. Never mind. Yes.
And yeah, I taught my mom about that. So thank you for that, RJ.
Yep. Yeah. That thought occurred to me, and I was like, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not positive that that's the one that Celeste was on.
That was me.
I do not even want to know what that is, and I'm not even no.
There was no, I'm not gonna say his name, but
No, I can just guess.
Yeah, no, there was a comedian that I knew, and I use that term loosely. We were going to Scranton for a show, and I didn't even want to carpool with this guy. It was offered by the booker, which is one of the most heinous things you can do as a booker, is say, hey, you want to do this show? And I say, yes. And he says, cool. I also have so and so on it. You guys can carpool without ever checking if like you're cool with that dude or like even want that at all. So I looped my buddy in who wasn't even on the show. I was like, you got to come and be a buffer for this because I can't take it. Long story short, we're on the way there, and he's in the back seat, and he's doing this thing where like he's not even in the back seat. He's like fully leaned up in
Oh,
between
God,
the
I hate
seats
that.
and is like talking to both of us. Like it just way too. And honestly, the best parallel I can give for this guy is Chris Chan type. Like that's the level he was on. And he starts going on like I don't know where it came up. I think we were like Abdul and I were just riffing, and somehow cum eating came up, and he's like, I'm always curious to try one of those recipes in Nature's Cookbook or Nature's Harvest or whatever. And I was like, oh, what's that? And he goes into like explaining it without actually explaining it. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's recipes with semen? And he's like, yeah, like your own. And I was like, okay, no, why would you be interested in that? Nobody eats their own semen. He's like, well, you know. And I was like, excuse me? Please tell me this is a bit. And my friend, Abdul, who has no filter, he's like, did you just say you eat your own cum? And I was like, nope, it's a bit. We're going to put it down. This didn't actually happen. He's just running a bit. And he starts going, no, and defending it. And it was one of the most uncomfortable interactions. And to give you a little bit of perspective, from Syracuse to Scranton is 2 hours. He instigated this conversation about 30 minutes into the drive. So there was a whole hour and a half there, the show, and then the way back to sit with this. And I've never seen somebody get more pissed at like for one of the most incomprehensible reasons than this guy. Like he had some shit going on. And the key point to Celeste bringing that up is again, my friend Abdul, who is also on the podcast, no filter, just immediately doxed him on the podcast, like just without skipping a beat. So I had to go in and fix that bad boy. But yeah, so that was the retrospect version. But I was going to say originally, yeah, I knew someone like that.
Yeah, it's called Natural Harvest, a collection of semen-based recipes. Here's the byline: semen is not only nutritious, but also has a wonderful texture and amazing cooking properties. Like fine wine and cheeses, the taste of semen is complex and dynamic. Semen is inexpensive to produce and is commonly available in many, if not most, homes and restaurants. I'm not going to read the rest, but that's literally what the byline says.
My God.
The Kindle version's free right now, everyone.
Oh, awesome.
Well, nobody do any dinner parties with Richard for at least the next 6 months.
Where's my pencils?
I think you mean your harvesters. Yeah, anyway, my mom was like, what is this drinking your own? I was like, there's a cookbook I learned on Play With Yourself podcast, mother.
Wow.
Yeah, there goes the legacy of that podcast. That's all it is. It imparted that wisdom.
All right, enough about what Chris releases from his body and then puts back into it. A lot of the videos at this time were videos of just him screaming at the camera. And these are like some of the more popular of the Chris Chan videos. They like the ones where he just screams. In them, he addresses the trolls. He utters threats about beating people up. And then he knows people in the FBI, and he's going to call the FBI and the police and get them all arrested for cyberbullying. And he targets Clyde in these videos, the leader of the miscreants. He targets Vivian G, which was just, I don't even think I ended up keeping it in the final draft. She was a cousin of Clyde, basically. She created a Sonic U animated series online, and she makes money from it. Greg Mays, who is also Clyde, and Liquid Chris, who we will get into soon. So a lot of these videos aren't even just yelling or talking at all. A lot of them are just him making loud noises, punching the camera over, throwing things. In many of them, he has no shirt on. In some of them, he has no clothes on at all. Man titties and bent dick flapping in the wind.
Imagine he was around now, the TikTok he would have.
Oh, it'd be so good. It'd be so good.
Well, if he was around now, he'd actually be making money.
That's true.
Yeah.
As famous as he was on YouTube, this is before the what's it called? The partnership program? The
Yeah.
YouTube partners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually that would have I don't think he could have existed today.
Oh, they would have taken all of his shit down immediately.
I mean, this is such a product of that wild west of the internet that was closing in. It's like 1905, like fucking, Wyoming or whatever. Like the government's coming, man. Like this was the last hurrah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In April of 2009, Encyclopedia Dramatica announced that they were removing the Chris Chan site with a post stating that they deeply regretted any harm they caused to Chris. Now, I will mention this was in fact April 1st of 2009, and it was an April Fool's Day prank,
Of course.
orchestrated by the site owner.
Of course it was.
Chris fell for another troll, beyond Ivy. This was at the same time as Ivy. When he believed that Vanessa Hudgens was messaging him through a man Chris knew worked in Hollywood, and she wanted an audition tape so she could get him into her movie.
Oh yes, okay. For Vanessa Hudgens' Eyes Only. This is an audition of some romance and anger, and a little bit of a sing-along. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Ivy. Ivy makes your heart so light. When the sky is gray and ordinary, Ivy makes the sunshine. Oh, happiness is flowering all around her. The daffodils are smiling at the dove. When Ivy holds my hand, I feel so grand. My heart starts beating like a big brass band. Boom, 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 boom. Get behind me, Ivy. I'll protect you from that murderous scoundrel, Clyde Cash. Take this. Come on, you want some of this? You want some of this, Clyde? Leave us alone. Leave us alone, you murderous fiend. There you go. That's basically good enough audition, I hope. So, thank you. I'll see you soon, Vanessa. Peace and love.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how that works. Just so everyone knows, you just gotta fucking be an idiot on the internet, and then you'll eventually get a movie deal. A quasi celebrity will follow you, find you. They'll ask for an audition tape, whatever you want. Just yell on the screen, and you'll get the movie. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chris and Vanessa Hudgens exchanged more messages and ended up having very awkward cyber sex. So Chris tried to stay true to Ivy at first, but finally admitted that he was hard after the troll pretending to be Vanessa Hudgens wouldn't stop talking about her tits in his mouth. And during the cyber sex, Chris pretended to be a dog on a leash the whole time.
How do you? Oh, roar, 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 roar. Like, what is he doing to be a dog? Oh,
Oh, fuck.
Vanessa Hudgens also convinced Chris to send her a video of him dancing naked in the bathtub, pretending that he's dancing with a girl. So he was
Nice.
ballroom dancing naked in his filthy bathtub. Okay, he did go to meet up with her on a university campus, and he claims that he saw her there, but she couldn't hear him when he called her name.
yes.
She couldn't hear him.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Vanessa Hudgens is notoriously hard of hearing, so
Did he not think about going closer, maybe?
I guess she was just walking away too fast, and those pudgy legs just couldn't keep up.
Oh.
All right. So after she stands him up, she kind of disappears, and Chris confesses to Ivy. And Ivy's like, I'm cool with that, but as like punishment, you have to send me a video of you spanking yourself to punish yourself for your infidelity. And I also want another video where you're wearing a diaper. He sends them, obviously. And he also sent her an apology video where he kisses his Ivy sex doll, and another one where he reads about adultery in the Bible, and then said when he was coming for Vanessa, he was screaming Ivy's name.
This guy's a sucker for this shit. Like, I don't get it. There's got to be a time when you just catch on. Guess not.
Let's see. After this, Chris made his second Christian and the Hedgehog Boys album. This time it's dedicated to Ivy. He's singing songs about her over popular songs, including Sexy Back and Like a Virgin.
Nice.
And he uses this album to score his marriage proposal to Ivy, which he films and uploads to YouTube, along with a comic panel he drew of her accepting the proposal, them getting married, and Chris and Ivy's wedding and their wedding night, where they have sex for the first time. Now, notably about this, his dick was drawn by tracing his actual dick on the page and then filling it with color after.
Oh my God.
This is going to be realistic, guys. I even got the veins right perfect after. What a fucking, that's hilarious.
So their engagement was eventually called off after one of the trolls sold Chris a PSP for a stupid amount of money, claiming that it was special somehow. And she was like, you know what? You are too dumb and you're never going to be able to support me financially.
Yeah. This PSP will make you win dance battles.
So after he got like royally screwed on this PSP, his parents went to the police and insisted that they investigate all of the people that Chris had been in contact with online, and that included Ivy. Chris was inconsolable. He called her constantly. He tried to get money from his parents to go visit her, but his parents told him that they knew he had been stealing cash from them and using their credit cards online. And apparently Barb told Chris that she was going to kill herself because she can't handle Chris being a thief and the new involvement of the police in his life. So yeah, Barb is like very toxic. She pulls these weird like clingy power moves all the time. Over the next few months, the trolling is pretty minimal, mostly just releasing his old content. He did end up meeting a gal pal named Kim, and Kim was actually the exact same troll as Emily, but due to his facial blindness, he didn't recognize her to be the same troll. So Kim and a male friend, a male troll, took Chris out and recorded him drinking alcohol, something that he'd been vocally against his whole life, and singing karaoke. And the karaoke song that he chose was his Virgin with Rage song in actual public.
Oh God. Karaoke's never flattering, but like I can imagine him, it's like even worse.
I never wanna hear you say I have a boyfriend.
So
Oh.
good.
Okay, so the trolls actually ended up arranging a real date. Now, this was a joke date between a disabled man and an equally as disabled woman, and they were trolling both of them. But it was a real date between the two. They didn't know. She said that she actually liked him at first, but then Chris got drunk and wouldn't stop touching her. So she said that she didn't want to go out again.
Mm.
All right. Chris released a notable hate song about homosexuals that caused a bit of a stir after this. It was a cover of Don't Trust Any Napoleons Over There from the TV show The Boondocks. And it was about not trusting homos.
Oh.
And he then apologized for it.
Yeah. It's all good to do shit like that if you could just say sorry after.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I said sorry. No offense.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want as long as you apologize.
No offense. I didn't say full offense. I said no offense. Relax.
let's see. Max tried to make a comeback at this time. He tried to pose as a girl named Azul, who was friends with Kim. And Chris, I don't know. He just didn't fall for it this time. But Max just couldn't get enough of Chris, it would seem.
Well, I mean, after having, an incredibly intimate cybersexual relationship,
They're
somewhat
bonded.
committed, yeah, at that point. What happened to us?
But it is like that is an interesting, maybe that is a reasoning, like not all of it, like obviously fuck with Chris, but maybe there is that, like, I miss that.
I miss you, Chris. I miss you.
Maybe it is.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
They're just kids.
Well, that's where I can see the some of the niceties coming from some of these guys, like the Clyde guy and stuff, where it's just like, this is such like a fixture in your life now,
Yeah.
maybe some of that empathy leaked out, but then not long enough to not turn around and immediately do something else heinous right after. But
Well, you can't be, they don't feel bad unless they do something bad, right?
Right.
So they have to do something bad to have that empathy to begin
Yeah.
with. So it's a weird loop.
When Billy Mays died on June 27th, 2009, the trolls blamed Chris for killing him because he was jealous that he was the mayor of Quickville. Chris released a video exonerating himself with notes from the autopsy report, which is fucking hilarious.
oh man,
God.
you don't.
RJ, you're so far away from your mic, it's not picking up your laugh, and I miss your laugh. It's like the best part about you.
Oh, sorry. That was a quieter laugh.
Do it again.
No.
Get a laugh track in for
you keep bringing up these absolutely amazing things that he does in response, and you're gonna get more. Don't worry. That's just like, uh-oh, Chris killed Billy Mays. No, hold on. No, I have proof. Don't you all say that.
Okay. It was mid-2009 when Chris first started being discussed on local radio shows, podcasts, and web series for his antics. He also began being interviewed. So this was a new source of laughs for the public.
No.
The
Why?
interviewers, as you might expect, often mocked him, and Chris didn't realize that they were mocking him. And instead of lashing out at these people, Chris created a series of hate videos lashing out against trolls or perceived trolls on YouTube.
Did he do anybody notable? Did he get interviewed by anybody like
No,
worth mentioning? No.
no, all of them are just like smaller than us, probably. Later, he does get a couple notable interviews. Nobody like huge in media or anything, but like
Yeah.
YouTubers you'll know the name of.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. From this series of videos comes my second favorite quote from Chris, after all I know is fart. And I am paraphrasing slightly. You are naive. Naive is the worst word because it questions your intelligence.
Oh, poor Chris Chan.
Yeah. And this wasn't a typo, just so we're clear. He said this out loud.
I was gonna say he probably just didn't have autocorrect back then. No, out loud.
Yep.
I don't know.
Do you think this is like leaning in though? Like some of this stuff sounds like he does it on purpose, and some of it sounds like obviously like he's getting trolled, but some of it's like, okay, I'll just entertain. Are you not entertained? Like that's what I feel like some of this.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. I think it's just a compulsion to be performative. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like he's not so delusional that he doesn't actually believe it, but I think he just feeds into his own delusions, which is why he keeps falling for the same two tricks all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of an optimist a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So trolls managed to hack into Chris's PSN account again, I think. And once again, he has to go to battle to get it back. And the trolls gave him the ultimatum that if he recorded video proof of himself losing his virginity, they would release the accounts. And Chris accepted this challenge. He reached out to his friends and asked them to keep on the lookout for women who would be willing to have sex with him. And he also started seeking women on Craigslist.
He's not making the pamphlets
Um,
anymore.
No,
Fuck.
no, he's using the internet now.
Well, it's desperate.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
probably
yeah.
even bending his rules a little bit. I mean, he's got to get his PSN account back.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
The only women he ended up finding were prostitutes, and Chris was hesitant because he didn't want to pay them. But then when he was desperate enough, he was like, "All right, I will pay you." And then they backed out
The prostitute.
after he said, "I need to have sex with you to get my PSN account back." And they were like, "All right, I think so." Even the prostitutes rejected him.
Wow.
Even when he said he was going to pay, they were like, "You know what? No."
That is a sad person. Sex workers, I've seen some fucked up, like, at a strip club, you know what I mean? Like going home with some fucking weirdos. So I don't know about, like, if Chris Chan's like, wow, that is bad. He must have really smelled.
well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think the whole sentiment that sex workers are like, well, no matter what, as long as they're money, they're gonna go through with it. I mean, that's not,
Not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is
Right.
you can find someone. For
Yeah,
sure.
no, I mean, I was just like,
Not everyone. I get that, but there's someone.
fair enough. I don't know what that part of Ontario looks like. So
Well, there's less teeth than there are people.
that's crazy. I was pretty sure there's only like 4 people out there too.
Well, I got all the teeth that compare to everyone. It's a bunch of gummers.
That's why you're the king out there. You took all their teeth, right?
This is Sparta.
Okay. Their next demand, when Chris couldn't find anybody who would be willing to have sex with him, was for Chris to film himself humping his PS3, and he refused that because that is where he draws the line for now, apparently.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Sacred.
Man, they were still like $500 back then at that point. You don't want to
Yeah.
that.
Now this part is interesting. He used his conversations with these trolls to weasel his way into a troll meeting. And everyone there could tell it was him. But basically they talked about how Ivy had killed herself because of Chris, because they knew he was there. And he pretended to be a guy named Bill. And Chris suggested, I want to make this very clear, Chris suggested that instead of humping his PS3, the trolls should make Chris film himself sexually assaulting his church counselor.
You still going to church?
He's got a new church now.
Oh.
And his church counselor is like his closest confidant. Her name is Rocky.
That's someone you want to sexually assault, I guess.
Right? This is what I mean. Chris is a fucking piece of shit.
Oh, man. The one person who's nice to him. You know what I mean? Like, Rocky's probably the one person in his life who's actually nice to him. Legitimately. Let's go rape her. Like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, so all the trolls are like, nah, buddy, like hump the PS3. So he erased the line, and he did this time. He sent them an 8-minute video humping the PS3 and just talking like so much talking.
I wonder if the PS3 likes the flavor of strawberry. Continue.
Yeah, the PS3 is very picky. It probably didn't even want to be in his house. Very elite gaming system.
Okay, so the trolls are like, okay, well, now that you did that, we can make you do anything. So how about you sing a cover of It's Okay to Be Gay? And he does. And he acts like he's being tortured the whole time and pauses intermittently to make barfing noises. And so they were like, do better. And so he re-records it with dancing and enthusiasm, but this time he's wearing a disguise. So they were like, nope, do better. And he was like, no, I don't want to. And so they were like, okay, fine. Instead, make a puppet show of Tails and Sonic the Hedgehog doing butt stuff. And Chris was like, you know what? Keep it. And he never got it back.
He found his line.
Hard
Oh.
limit.
Fucking dare you? That question: Do you think Tails has a butthole for every tail?
In my erotic fan fiction, he does.
Let's see. I have not seen the new movie, so I don't know if they confirm it there or not.
Right. Okay. So this is kind of funny. It's short, but it's funny. So Chris decides that his next move is going to be to troll the trolls. And so he decides to try to convince them that he was actually just a normal guy pretending to be Chris online, just for like shock factor. So he records a video of himself in a like wearing sunglasses, wearing like a sleeveless vest with a t-shirt, and he had full fake arm tattoo sleeves and no Sonichu medallion or class ring in sight. And he films this video and he's like going to work and living a normal life and like just talking about like how he's just a normal guy pretending to do this to get attention. And the trolls saw right through this, of course.
Yeah,
But
of course.
it was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God.
The insane person trying to play the straight man. Yeah, that is hilarious. That's like a trope. You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah,
Chris Farley trying to like go to this, do his job at the office. Like, obviously you're gonna laugh at that. I like it.
All right.
He looks normal. How would you not think that guy's normal? He's going to his job right now. You can tell.
Going to work. Where does he go to work? Where does he work?
The business store or some shit. I don't know.
Of course. Yeah.
The
The
business
businessman's store. Yeah.
Where all the tattoo sleeved businessmen go.
Businessmans are us.
Yeah, I work at the business place, the business store. It's good.
Yeah, it was great though. It was so funny. His next attempt was to pretend that he actually was a split personality. One being Christian, the Chris that people know online,
Ricardo.
and one being Christopher,
Yeah.
the normal guy. Okay.
Oh, man.
So in these videos, he would argue with himself. Okay, yeah, so Christopher is demanding to be set free and he punches Christian in the face. So he's punching himself in the face and just talking to himself and acting like an insane person. So that's pretty much it for notables in that period of time. But we're getting into another saga this time. This time it is the Liquid Chris saga. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Unethical Podcast. If you're not in the Facebook group, stop being such a silly goose and come find us at UNETHICULT, the official Unethical podcast group. If you find you just can't handle the anticipation until the next episode, then it's a great time to join our Patreon, where we have a ton of extra unethical content, and of course, our brother podcast, Private Dicks. And in case you didn't hear the good news, Private Dicks is now Public Dicks. Every 2 weeks, an episode of Season 1 will drop wherever you eat your podcasts, and our lucky Patreon patrons are literally living in the future, listening to new episodes from Season 2. On the fence about it? Have a listen to the trailer and see what you think. If you've got a case, big or small, give the Private Dicks a call. And yes, the phone number is real. Enjoy!
Have you got a mystery that needs solving?
Where is Amelia Earhart?
We know.
Who the hell was DB Cooper?
Ah, easy.
Bermuda Triangle?
Probably solve that one next.
Here at Private Dicks, we guarantee a mystery solved every episode.
That's with a capital G.
Every second Friday, the Private Dicks take a client, record their session, and solve the world's greatest mysteries.
One by one.
Private Dicks solve them, no problem. God, I love just crushing mysteries. Search up Private Dicks on your favorite podcatcher and you can solve a mystery too.
The mystery of what's your favorite podcast?
It's Private Dicks, another one solved.
If you have a mystery to be solved, call 1-855-PRVT-DIX. That's 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS.
Call 1-855-PRIVATE-DICKS and leave us the rundown of the case. Maybe the Dicks will solve it.
855 Private Dicks. I'm straight when it comes to humans, but fucking gay from old people.